Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to Islands of Insight. So take notice here that the camera on the pause screen when I reloaded is zoomed in on the stomach of our character. That is probably, I would assume, because the virtual camera is obeying the boundaries of physical things so that it doesn't take a frame freeze image that would be right in front of a bunch of plants. So I solved this puzzle, which is to say I didn't solve this puzzle, by just using hints. What I vaguely recall happened here is you basically had to make a arc, just kind of scooping back and forth with one part of the loop ending here and then one part of the loop ending here. Obviously I'm not going to sit here and try and put in the entirety of what that was all about, but yeah, it was something sort of like that. But yeah, I think it actually had only 2 points. I sat there for a very long time to use the hints, and then I sat for a very long time also trying to just solve the puzzle legitimately. So in this area, you still kind of want to get the bonus. There's hidden pin tabs all over the place. There's a lot of stuff. And my guess here is we've got to figure out a way to like click on things as we're falling. See, now that's just crazy. Okay. So there's got to be a better way to do that. And pretty much I guess there is just a move here. If you see a reflection in one place, go ahead and embrace it in the next place. Like they kind of actively here want you to fall to your death in this mirrored section as much as I think is possible. Once you have an angle. Okay, so symmetrical must be equal to the region size. So this one can't go. This one at best can go here, and this one at best can go here. Kind of making that have to be white there. This one means that has to be white. This one means that one has to be white. This one means that one has to be white. So at a certain point, I guess the question is, can we stop these from connecting, or is it kind of doomed? Let's say you did like that. Then can we keep our momentum here? And then if we do that, that's too many. connected that and that, then we'd have a whole nother problem, so that pretty much has to be black. That 2 is too many. And that 2 is too many. And this can't connect here because then it would be touching that. Anyways. So, kind of has to be that way. Okay. But that's too many. Which means that has to be white and that has to be white. Also means that has to be white and that has to be black. Okay. Well, the good news is this doesn't seem like this is going to be too much. It's just going to come down to, can I get 5? No, see, that's got to be black. Which means that's got to be black. Which means that. No. If we did that and that would go there. But then we'd have to do that. And then that creates a bigger problem. If I was to do white and white here, that still does that problem. If I was to do white and white here, that's not a problem. And if I was to do black here and white here, and white here, and do that. Okay. It's a new day for me. It's always worth pointing that out, I think. So I'm a little refreshed, a little less tired. Which, that is a thing, certainly. I think these hidden pin tabs are literally in the same place that they would have been elsewhere. And I guess the hidden pin tabs are unique in that you don't actually have to be near them to actually click on them. Which, thank goodness for that, because there is minimal places you can stand, obviously. We have now gotten to level 30, so every single possible upgrade, unless this map is going to change. Well, not every single one. Warp beacon. You can see where warp beacons might be very helpful, also for doing races. Yeah, so there is an argument certainly to try and get down to this upgrade. Just also, we're low on sparks again, so I'm not sure if I spent wild last time or if that negative glitch kicked in again. Okay. How am I supposed to click on that? So yeah, you start that, and then what? Fall to your death? Does that not end the whole thing? So the trick here must be that you start it, and then you come over here. And then... see if we can find a way. Okay. We'll take these platforms. So the question is, can you see the pentads from the outside? Because there's really nothing here stopping you from, I guess, clicking them from the outside. Gonna have to fly into that tunnel. I now realize. Fine, there's a puzzle here. Unfortunately, there is also this small possibility that right now, as I'm speaking, the audio is not properly being recorded. Like, everything's messing up these days. I think the trick here might be fairly simple. At the very least, we should try this. Just see how much we can possibly satisfy. And that does not put us in a terrible position to start with. Now, if this one was going to be black, then this one would have to be black, so this one has to be white. So if this one's going to be white, this one's going to be white, and that one has to be white, at the very least. Then that has to be white. And so for the mirroring of that, we could do something like that. Okay. Let's see if we can follow that logic to the next step. Okay. Some of these don't feel like they're correct, but maybe they are. So this one would have to be black. And this one would have to be black. But then this one can't be black. Interesting. There's really less rhyme and reason there than I was expecting. Darn it. I guess this is pretty much just don't fall. Although there might be a case here where you can't get back. This really isn't screaming like it wants to make it easy. Okay. Yeah, getting up even to that spot, though, it's proving difficult. I guess the trade-off here is you can click on things outside the orbs, but if you do, you're basically just blindly clicking on those things. Weird. Uh-oh. Almost got stuck there. It's weird how you sometimes get more height and sometimes get less height. You would think the game might be more consistent. I'm missing one that I believe is over on the other side of that. Maybe there's just some level of caution you can use. Nope. No such luck. If we were to throw caution to the wind and just fly around, if we could spot it, then it would be the only one left. I would suspect it is somewhere. Somewhere on the far side where you're less likely to see it. It could be, to a certain point, up in the tree. Yeah, up in the upside down tree. See if this was the intended trick, to just have the player multiple times end up jumping around inside this upside down temple. It's not a particularly good trick. could be on the other side of that tree. That's fairly believable. What's it hiding? I hear a gate. And admittedly, I want to play a little bit more ADD than just focus on one thing. I would much prefer to jump around and look for the other elements. Although if we get this pentad done, we are done with the pentads at that point. There we go. So now I am just looking for one more ring we didn't do. And hidden archways. One is hoping that if we do 100% of everything here, then we will be done. You see these little leaks of light, and that's probably bad game design. I would heavily suspect that makes it render things that you don't really need to render and then disappear the rendering, unload it from RAM. Now really is the time to come and do this really difficult one. And since I loaded in, it'll be a reset here. Let's see. Could have figured that part out to begin with. Let's see if we can figure out anything else. Well, you know, at least that's black then, because of that. All dark regions have 4. That's another thing to recognize. Also know that that is at least black. Okay. And could kind of make a full white. No, that is black too. Yeah, weirdly, if I was to do that, I guess I can't copy that, so that has to be black also. So if this is white, this is white. Wow. Okay. I think I'm getting more into the flow of it now. And since that can't be black because that would be too many. That has to be black, that has to be black. At the very least, this has to be black, and that has to be black. But then this can't be black, so that has to be white. Which means that has to be black, and that has to be black, and that has to be white, which means that has to be black. And then that has to be black, which makes that white. Which makes that black, which makes those white. Which means that's black. What else can we figure from this? Well, this has to be black and this has to be black, at the very least. And this has to be black. Yeah. This can't be white now, can it? Because it would connect to that, and that can't happen. Which means that has to be black too. One of these two has to be at least white. This middle spot probably is going to turn out to be black. Let's look at this. This could be white, this could be white, but that has to be at least black. This could be white, this could be white. This could be white, this could be white. And this could be white. So this whole box could be white. But doesn't inherently have to. This has to be black, though. Which means this can't connect with that, which means that has to echo that. Okay. And so there is no way this is going to make another group of 4 with this also being a group of 4. So that has to be there. That means that is there. Which makes that black, which makes that connect to that being black. And then I think this has to be black, which makes that white. Answering that question. Then this has to be white, and this has to be black, that has to be white. Intriguingly, there's little guidance left here. It does just kind of seem to me like if I was to make this black, which it kind of has to be, that would be too high. There's just no way that this, either this is black or this is black. You can't go down here and do that and make that. So those two have to be white. And then if this was white and this was white, then there's a danger of connecting things. This one can't be black, can it? Well, it could be in one scenario. So somehow it's telling me that I should know that can't be black and that has to be white. I don't get it. I don't get that at all. And the last bit of that was a lot of guessing. Wow. I'm not sure I was really supposed to be able to hit it from that angle all the way over here, but that did work fairly easily. So I would have to assume that that was the trick. There's still like 8 puzzle boxes though. Seems like a lot. My guess is that this was where I was supposed to hit the ring. But I don't even see the ring, so maybe the ring is on the bottom side of this floating rock. Okay, we've got to connect A's. Okay. And we've got to connect B's. And we've got to connect C's. So how can we do that? Okay. So yeah, we're just working with this. I don't quite see it. Don't quite see how we create this separation here. We should probably just use a foresight to try and figure it out. There's just no other way to get to the B either. Wow. It's really crazy how close you can be to the solution and just not feel like you're anywhere close. We have hit the later stage of the game, certainly. So this rock is not exactly the same as the other rock. Okay. At the very beginning here, we can make a general assumption there. And then we're going to get 7. We've got to be missing some. Something like that. And then if this has to be 5, it has to be something like that. Now, either way we do this, we're going to end up putting a dark one there. Oh, and I guess I should have started at the bottom, shouldn't I? Okay. It gives me symmetry. 3, 6, 9. just bounces you up. Some more. Inherently, though, I kind of want to probably just leave this area. There's hidden archways still to find. It definitely feels to me like the move is to look downward, and see what is copied and what isn't copied. Try not to reload too often. We've done all the towers of insights, pillars of insights. Let's just fell right back down. See, there was a spot of a puzzle. I just don't see a great way that I'm possibly going to reach that. Oh, so there's a whole rock here. Right. So I'm just gonna bounce up and down as we do this all. Okay. Okay. So that side was actually fairly easy. So I need to figure out a way to get up there. And you know what I suspect is that I really haven't spent too much time in this whole place. Okay, so assume we're looking at the 5s. You know, at least that. And that gives me a 4. Which means something. along those lines. I think it means something along those lines, but maybe it doesn't, because we are connecting all the dark lines. So yeah, it would be highly unlikely if it ended up something like that. But I guess we really don't know. And we know that has to be dark. Can we determine any other spots where it would have to be dark? I think it gets a little too crazy. Yeah. If we were to have a white one here and then like connect these here, because then we'd have to reflect everything there too. It wouldn't really stop too much if we did that, but then that is now eliminating places. Yeah. You could do something like that. But in this case, you can't do that, so we know those two are black. At the very least. We're making some wild assumptions here. This one has to be black, too. And since the blacks must be connected, that means all of those are black. Since this could be black here. Then that would have to go there. Would have to go there, I would think. Yeah. Unless we want to do something like that and that. Which honestly, we can't do that because it takes too much space up. Is there possibly a disconnect that can be made? Okay, so then this has to connect to that, probably. But maybe not. Nothing really stops that. Okay. That felt easier than it probably should have been. So yeah, I'm of the thought that I probably haven't spent enough time running around the inside of the upper temple. Very possibly missed some archways. Almost certainly missed some puzzles. But those are the only two kinds of puzzles we're actually looking for. So, and I've got to figure out a way to get up there. That's the other goal. Let's run around here and see if there's any hidden archways. So, yeah. We can't make any 3 patterns of black, but we don't have to also connect black. So, could just do something like that. And then you could go, you can't do something like that. Okay. If that's going to be connected, it has to end there. Yeah, I think we're probably going to end up just doing some kind of checkerboarding of some level. And this again may not be that big of a deal. Okay. So if this ends here, doesn't seem like it can in there. And I had that set up so nicely. Let's see if our foresights help us in any way. Weirdly, it adds that, changes that. What in the world is going on here? No idea. God, I got lucky. I definitely am at a point now where every time I succeed... Wow. And that's an extra ring. Every time I succeed, I feel like I succeed through sheer luck. I just don't feel like I'm earning these victories. And that's not very satisfactory, to say the least. And if there is another ring, and we've already done all the rings for the bonus, that tells me that there's going to be some number, really uncertain as to how big of a number, but some number of extra puzzles. Find a ledge to get stuck on. Everything's upside down. Yeah, something tells me it's over there. Well, not something, my instincts tell me it's over here. There we go. Okay. Am I at the highest spot? I think I am. As I can fly to this rock, which I guess I've already been to this rock since we've already found an archway and solved the puzzle here. Is that yet another rock? Yes, it is. An archway. Okay. There's a lot of things making different sound effects. Feels like my feet are just getting stuck in the ground. Alright. Game does not want me to use the super jump. In general, the game is acting just kind of wonky. I did go into my BIOS on my computer and turn down the RAM speed, which has been a problem in the past. That the XMP overclocking profile on RAM by default tries to run faster than what my motherboard or CPU or the RAM itself can handle. Maybe that's fixed the micro stuttering, we'll see. So far I haven't seen anything like that. But I also turned down the graphics, and in fairness, at a certain point I should probably just start turning down the graphics by 1 or 2 steps based on what it auto detects, just because I know I'm recording, and that too takes CPU and GPU processing power. Well, let's see. All light areas have 5 is a new rule. It limits us in some ways. Like, this couldn't be connected to this, really, because that would be too many pieces. So what if we would have just start with something simple? Yeah. Let's say that was our first 5. Then that would have to be 5. And then that would be 5. It's important to remember every section, whether it has a symmetry flower on it or not, would have to be 5. Okay. Is there any way, I mean, that could be 5, but then that would have to reflect, so that can't be 5, so then that has to be 5, I would imagine. Or that has to be 5. Then if we were going to do symmetry like that, could do something like that. Okay. Then we probably should have started over on this side. Start with. Because, yeah, that would have made that way easier to figure out. I think there is something to be said about the level of difficulties on some of these. That it is, in my opinion, not properly depicting or properly rating things. So I think that there might be a ring. Puzzles, there might be exactly 100 in this area. Did we find them all, or is there one up there? So I have wondered if the arches are supposed to be an indication of more. That at some point there was more to this whole world, and the arches were destroyed. So bouncing here it looks to me like everything on that island has been collected. And we've already done both of those. Don't make 3 blacks and... okay. Don't make 4 whites. And don't make a crisscross pattern. Checkerboard pattern. So... can't make a checkerboard pattern. Then not sure how we're going to pull this one off. That doesn't look terrible. And so let's just see if we can reflect that solution down and see what we've done wrong. Reflecting it didn't work. Checkerboard patterns. So, yeah, let's see if we can use our foresights here to cheat in some stuff. My assumption here is that all of this does play out in a weird way. Is that possibly the move? So if we see one here, there should be another one somewhere. Where are the other two hidden archways? That's one of the two room. That's the last puzzle grid one, so I guess if we could do that puzzle grid, then let's see if there's anything on the bottom of that. Nope. So it's somewhere around here. That might be an archway that we missed on the bottom side of this. Let's just get up here first. And if this doesn't get a little easier, I'm gonna just use the large jump. Wow. Wow. Okay. So can't do 3 in a row. Can't go any further that way. Can't do 2 side by side. So you have to just move it a little bit further. So now it really is and should just all be about finding the finding the last hidden archway. Easiest way to probably do that is to get flipped. Did we get to hidden archways on this island? I think we did. I definitely feel like I have a deeper insight now also as to why this is on that side. Yeah, that is because it doesn't, they didn't want to reflect it. Right. So if there's an archway here, and there's an archway at the top of that, tells me a couple places to look. also know that even though we've done the requisite puzzles, there's one more there. But I kind of want to just know how many total puzzles are left, so finding this last archway. You see it, it's just going to be a bit of a challenge to reach it. Move here is to assume gain momentum while being at the right height. So that's going to be difficult. Remember, you don't arch at all in this. So, right height. Really, it's just going to come down to eyeballing it. You might be able to use the tree as a marker. You already have several visual markers. Okay. So with that, we know that there are 8 puzzles still available. More than likely, that is 8 cubes. Regardless, the all-seeing monolith would be your target, I think, for that anyways. That you would just hope that the all-seeing monolith would point everything out to you. And I think that is a fairly satisfactory way to end in these areas now, is to get past the bonus parts. At a certain level, interesting. A pillar, I thought, was a pillar of insight for a second. I would just like the game to let me, like, stand still in the air, flying around, kind of like Superman just floats around. Some of these other areas less challenging. This again is one of those sections where you're just not going to reach that. I should probably probably just try and click on it instead of hoping to actually fly in the section. It's just a tree there. Didn't really look in these corners. Yeah, this is another great example of where having that teleport ability as a final unlockable skill. Wait a minute, let's look at that for a second. I thought it would teleport you back down. Lock down, look down when placing a map marker to place a return beacon instead. Interesting. That might be a teleport beacon in the sense that I might be able to at some point just see a puzzle and drop a return beacon and then use the return beacon to actually get where I want to get. I'm gonna give this one more chance. It's not like there's a better way on this side. No. Okay, well, we did a significant amount of this enclave. I'm ready to move on to the next one. We're still looking for 2 interactive puzzles. We might as well still do things if we can. For our rare luminous quest, we need 2 interactive puzzles. And then the actual story is telling us to travel to the vanishing point. Here. Minded of its own. We could do mysterious areas. Also. Or Solitary Island. Also. Seems like the game is wanting us to do Vanishing Point, though. This will unlock shy auras. These others will do nothing, so. And let's just follow the game's desire. Now, I will say, I do think the game looks a little different now that I've turned down the graphics. It looks a little more cartoony, a little less attempting to be hyper realistic. It's kind of crazy that there's even that significant of a possible difference to it, but yeah, I definitely have seen that in other games too, where you change the graphic setting by even 1 and then you're getting a very different experience. Not that I would inherently be able to say it's a better or worse experience, just that one way it seems like you get something that feels maybe a little bit older visually as a video game, or a little bit more cartoony video games inherently have been insane in the past few decades as far as drastically trying to always have better graphics and more realistic graphics. Whereas I certainly come from a time where it was totally considered acceptable to have 2D animation and cartoony visuals, and there's still some room for that. It's just that Nintendo in particular has claimed a lot of ownership of those art styles, and kids games in general kind of claimed ownership of those kinds of art styles. To such an extreme that you when like Borderlands came out and it was a looter shooter game that was going to just have a hyper realistic military style like so many other, and at the last second they decided to do a palette swap and give it thick black inking comic book outlines to the characters. That became revolutionary just in the boldness to not follow the leader, which inherently game developers are, or game publishers, perhaps more than even developers, are constantly locking into a follow the leader mentality. Where they will just copy each other and steal ideas from each other without even... Wow. That bubble sure makes it difficult to target that. There's one more. We are out of the upside down world setup, so we no longer have to worry about that, although there's still totally a possibility that something could be in the ground or in a tree, although if there's one next to a tree I wouldn't really think that there would be a second one so close. Just go around in circles over and over again. Is there something that is possibly distracting me? Just hidden in the tree behind. Still not 100% sure that these rings aren't procedurally generated, so it's kind of silly to bother with them too much. I still feel like there should be some kind of rabbits or something. Some kind of life in this world. Of course, if I was playing this on the MMO version, then I guess the life would be other players, but you do get sound effects if you kind of listen. You hear flowing water, and you hear what sounds like birds chirping, but we don't see any birds. And there's 2 interactive puzzles. So before we do anything else, let's finish that quest. Okay. So trick here. It's gotta be moving yourself in some kind of cycle. Like that. And this one was one of those where I have to hit everything. Yeah, if you throw it down there, you can't get back up. I would need this spot open. Okay. There we go. Got it. So, we'll fast travel back to the Pearl. Right now, we're at 447. We'll claim 2,000. Leitmotifs, wandering echoes, 20 puzzle blocks, and 1 matchboxes. I think that's a good one to take. And then also, we should take any upgrade we can take. Do we have any other upgrade we can take? Nope. So we're gonna sit on just 500 points, 500 sparks. But then we can take these sparks. Still not gonna be at the right amount, but we are increasingly close to finishing off this whole upgrade setup. Every time I thought I heard an arch appear, I'm not seeing an arch. Well, anyways, let's see if we're facing the general right direction for the vanishing point. I believe this is like a music box. This is a memory box. and this is going to be a nightmare scenario. Cause for me too, and personally, I'm just not going to be able to memorize any of these. Let's see. Actually, the rest of this is rather simple. But I certainly hope that there aren't too many of those, because the only thing I'm worse about as far as memorizing things would be music tone deaf, being musical and being tone deaf. Wow, this is being very generous on matchboxes. So we have two of them kind of next to each other. We also know this isn't the end, too, though. We'll be doing some more enclaves, and we'll be doing the final area. Might feel close to the end. There's yet another puzzle that hasn't been unlocked yet. There's another pentad. This is a smaller area, so one assumes. They have to be hidden in sneaky little sections. I still really don't feel like there's any characters in this game that I care about. So it is going to come down to you either learn to love the puzzles or you hate the puzzles and you move on with your life. I imagine you wouldn't even have gotten this far if you absolutely hated the puzzles. I suspect there isn't some sneaky underground section. Maybe. Could be. There could be a cave. There's some little cliffs, but I'm not seeing a cave. It's just this group of trees here. be hard to hide a pin tab in that. But perhaps not impossible. Yeah, everything feels like it's just playing a little bit smoother. Like, I don't feel like the mouse is jerking around as much. Either. It's still kind of rough using mouse and keyboard, and it always will be. It's just going to be a question of how many more of these am I going to pay attention to. That seems right. But there's another one you have to line up here. Another one you have to line up here. 60 seconds of chroma. Sky drops. Do we see any sky drops at all? Bonus is pretty worthless. So I'd have to just run to where sky drops are. And certainly I could do that in 60 seconds, but wouldn't really want to. That might be part of the master plan here, is that when we start to really try and think about getting a lot of the puzzles on these mainlands unlocked, that we may very well end up getting distracted and running to different spots. Yeah. So, is that the vanishing point? Mind of their own. This enclave is inhabited by bashful entities known as shy auras. Shy auras are skittish and will disappear if you frighten them. It is up to you to work out how to approach each type of shy aura. So there's a whole tutorial here. Consult the guide stone if you need a hint to understand their behavior. So we want to touch 6 shy auras, complete 5 memory grids, and find 4 hidden rings. Now, are we to assume that each color is different? We'll start with this. Let's just walk backwards. Okay. So the green here disappeared. Okay. They seem to reappear after an amount of time. So you have to actually click on them can't just physically touch them. I'm doing memory puzzles. Doing those are not going to really help. So greens disappear when you get close. Reds seem to have a higher aspect to them. Is it possible that you have to approach them from the south or the north, or from a shadow? Is it possible you have to crouch down and walk slowly? So reds do seem to be the ones that are just like Boos in Super Mario World or Mario 64. They hide from you when you look at them. Greens. Okay. Let's try that again. Not sure what I'm missing here. And I'm not going to feel bad really about using a lot of foresights on these memory puzzles. That's just going to be the only way I actually accomplish any of them. Okay. In a lot of ways, these are just like the Pac-Man ghosts. Okay. That was an easy one. got lucky to that. And notice how this is like a Mario fire plant. So clearly there's a Mario influence here. Okay, purples now. There's really only so many things you can do other than maybe running around. That could be what makes purple appear first day. Well, at a certain point I guess we can also fly. So purples maybe you just have to fly to them. Don't think I got that exactly right. Notice how the game is going out of its way to tell me how to crouch late into the gameplay. In fairness, if they keep these, blues might just be easy. Maybe you have to keep looking at blues. If they keep the memory grids easy and like this, that's not going to be too difficult. Particularly if I can just put in what I saw early in the game very quickly. If it takes me a few extra seconds to repeat the pattern, that's where it's going to start to get more difficult. I hear an oriole, but I'm not seeing one. I guess that's why you need the little remnants of the cubes falling downward here. Crouching backwards seems like it works. I don't know if crouching just means you're moving slower and that's the issue, or what. Let's see what this says. Probably the first. I have a trans-universal proverb for the ages. Tell the orioles to add this one to their collection. In the echoing chamber of language, a proverb about proverbs echoes the wisdom of wisdom itself. Noted, says the oriole. I will consider it, giving it consideration. So, I think they're joking with themselves. Are we doing anything to these shy orioles by clicking on them? Are we encroaching on their personal space? Or in some other way hurting them? We are changing their orientation by clicking on them. But we don't even really know if they are in any way anything more than just a machine. Some toy created by the Oriole. Find 12 hidden rings. I guess that was the 12th of them. And so now we've awakened shy Orioles and memory grids. And then the bonus here is complete all 16 memory grids. Is it possible that there's a specific angle in which you have to approach this shy Oriole? Okay, looking at it's not a problem. Okay, this is red light, green light. You have to walk to it slowly. There really is just a limited number of ways in which any of these different ways you could approach these, so it's no surprise you can just figure them all out. It might be a case where the ways in which one approaches some of these Orioles might change. Like the shiny ones might be any color. Five more memory cubes. 7 more hidden rings. It's kind of a lot. Don't really think that is it. This one's a bigger challenge than I was expecting. So what am I off on? Literally just one square. Inherently, if you are supposed to approach these cubes at different speeds, WASD is definitely not going to accommodate that particularly well. An analog stick on a controller would definitely accommodate. It's walking at different speeds way better. Okay. What am I missing? That. So there's just a lot in this whole area. I guess they kind of need to make some noise. Otherwise you wouldn't really know that they're respawning at all. Let's see. There are 3 more shy auras. Just feathering the tapping to 2 more shy ores. Is it possible that there are any others? Let's see. Bunch of hidden rings. Still seem to be all over the place. So there's probably some reason to look around. I kind of question whether there would be anything over here. I just want to look around and see if I can gain some different perspectives. See things from different angles. Five hidden rings is a suspiciously high number. So, we still are very much in the case where flying around the edge of these enclaves don't seem to be really necessary. Like, we haven't found a single legitimate cave or entrance to another area outside of that one enclave we just did where everything was flipped upside down. So, yeah. Everything seems like it is on this main island. Okay. So I think there's one that is here. That's what I'm thinking. Can my vision confirm that? Yes. That's gonna be a heck of a challenge. See how much of that is correct. I don't think a lot of it is correct. See, I don't know if maybe I'm supposed to be making a shape here I'm supposed to recognize. It's only one more memory puzzle. Okay, you get down here. So my thought is you've got to fly to it. Yep. So yeah, as best as I figured out, all the shiny ones can be any color. And we've seen so many shiny ones that we've kind of gone past remembering what the different colored ones would do. Again, it feels like flying is the only right move here. Fly your way in. Click on it. Maybe what you can do is fly your way in. And land and then fly. Maybe jumping is fine. So maybe the move is just to fly here. Doesn't seem like it. And see, this hole here gives you the feeling that potentially that's part of the trick, but it probably isn't. Trying to see if I can find the... It's one more hidden ring, one more memory grid, and then there's definitely just a question. You would think it was something else than that. That felt very awkward. Okay. One more hidden ring. One more memory grid puzzle. I'll just fly all around. That was easy to find the memory grid. It's easy to forget that the whole purpose of this, of what we're doing, is to get these marablisses, apparently. Although, they really haven't told us why we're getting the marablisses, or what they are. We've been able to figure out that if you get enough of them, you unlock enclaves to get more marablisses, and if you do certain ones of them, you will unlock hints to mysteries. Okay, so there are 3 more puzzles to find. Let's go ahead and look at what this is. Let's see. Coy will disappear when looked at. Anxious will disappear until you stop moving. Jumpy disappears when it hears footsteps. Interesting. Skittish disappears if it detects fast movements. And covert may be any of the other 4 types. So for the most part, I think I figured out that. One second, I'm gonna just adjust myself in my chair, as I've been sitting here so incredibly long that all the cushioning has decided to go flat on me. Now, inherently, we haven't seen a lot of these shy auras in the overworld. I suspect there aren't too many of them. But I can see why they would have just opted to let you take a hint to figure out that. I would assume that there would have been some level of game testing. Maybe not that much game testing, but some level of game testing that gave them feedback that some players were confused as to what the trick was. Okay. What's funny about this, to have 3 remaining, is actually a little shocking. Because I don't feel like there's a lot of room here for there to be 3 remaining hidden rings, would be my assumption. If not hidden rings, then puzzles. Yeah, which find that hard to believe too. Is there possibly something down here that I missed? As far as I can tell. The only thing I could think is to be fairly thorough about just looking around. Yeah. I suppose there could be a hidden puzzle just hidden behind a column or a post. And if I'm going to do that, then I should probably look all around this temple. Suppose there is room. Somewhere hidden in the edges of this. There could be another puzzle box, there could be another hidden ring. Could be right on the surface. It is fairly believable that there could be something tucked into a corner. My attention would have just been swayed. Double check the insides too. Up and down. Get into these corners and see if we find anything. I suppose the good news is I do have some level of faith in this game. We've seen some bugginess, certainly, but I don't think the game is going to be so incredibly unpolished that it tells me there are 3 puzzles in this area when there are not 3 puzzles in this area. The bad news is it may just be once again a case that we are 4/5 of the way through the Enclave. Second act of this game, I would call this. That there may not be any real chance of finishing everything. Should look at every tree. There's a ring. I guess I should have probably thought of that anyways. If we are looking for invisible rings, that would be a good place for them to be hiding. Is near trees, in between trees. looked over in that area well enough. So let's go and investigate this area. Nothing there. Guess that's just another example of how when you can just flip pre-made assets to make a game, you can have a fairly large section of the game that seems to have nothing in it now, unless there was a shy ore there, but I don't believe there was a shy ore in this spot. Of course, there could also be a mystery there, and if that's the case, then I'm unfairly criticizing it for having nothing there. Possibly puzzle hidden in these bushes. I don't think so. Well, technically we would have finished 2 enclaves today. I'm not going to be as satisfied as I could be if it's really more of a case that we didn't 100% either one of them. Again, weird, there's just like a whole section here. A lot of platforms one could jump off of to fly. If that was what we were supposed to do. A lot of ledges, which could have had something on them. So let's take a moment to just kind of contemplate. If this had been the final boss level of the game, the game is starting to finally feel a little herky-jerky in my control movements, and that might very well just be my hands. Would it make sense as like a final challenge area to introduce a whole new type of puzzle, or 2 whole new types of puzzles, I guess technically, memory grids also, and have the players solve those puzzles? No, I don't think so. I think that would come off as feeling a little cheap. A little cheaty. A little difficult, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people would struggle with doing something new. There's a question certainly to ask here. Now, have we unlocked all of the puzzles types? Or is there still one puzzle type that we have yet to unlock? I kind of wish there was a matchbox puzzle. You know, a logic grid puzzle. Because then the Luminous quest would be done. See a lot of cracks. Is it possible I haven't ever actually flown through that spot? I mean, it definitely looks like I have. There's one. See if a large high jump will just come in handy. So yeah, we've been through that. Okay. So if I can just visually ascertain where the last ring is, I might be able to do a high jump to reach it. Which means also it could be very high up on one of these trees. That would be my general assumption, is that it is a hidden ring on one of these trees. Not that one, not that one. Probably not that one. Maybe that one. And maybe that one. I would have a hard time believing that it's anything else. There's just not really room for any other secret thing. I suppose the ring could just be anywhere. Nothing really does stop it from just being in the middle of the air, around nothing else. definitely willing to believe that maybe I just missed a cube puzzle somewhere. Where though? Where would it be? I would have had to have walked past it dozens of times. Probably assuming that it had already been solved. Tree here. So my thought here is you would do something like this. You just fling yourself up very high. And then maybe hidden amongst the branches would have been a ring. And again, this may just be a case. I think I found it. There we go. It is kind of just in the middle of nowhere. And getting 100% in an island does not lead to another Bliss. Interesting. See, now it wants me to travel to the Great Pearl of the Serene Deluge. So this shy one that we just unlocked doesn't want to hear footsteps, I believe. Nope. It wasn't one of those. Wasn't a footstep one. Okay. Mysterious areas. I guess is what we want to check. The only other option here would be Solitary Island, which is over here. So it would just seem like it would make more sense to do mysterious areas next, just out of an abundance of saving time. Although if I could just find one logic puzzle grid, I would just teleport back to the Pearl. And so what is that? As a ring. very far distance. I don't think I can hit that one in such a way. Well, maybe I can. Never mind. Maybe that's a lesson in not doubting yourself. Because you just don't know how crazy easy some of this might turn out to be. Let's see, can we find a single logic grid? Is that the same symbol as that? No. Is that the same symbol as that? Yes. Okay, so that was the last. We needed to do logic grids or matchboxes. I just did a matchbox. So that was all I needed to do. Okay. So let's fast travel to the Pearl. Let's turn in the quest. Claim 500. Touch 10 sky ores. I don't see a reason why you would take that one. Follow wandering echoes, crystal labyrinths. And we're running out of ancient one effigies that I think I can actually accomplish. So what does that let us upgrade here? It's not going to put us high enough to get that. Gain additional rewards for not letting a wandering echo fly away. Hidden pentad, shrinking bubble, speedier rolling blocks. Dual luminous quest for 6,000. Or chromatic sky drops too. Yeah, I don't really think chromatic sky drops are very useful, so let's see. If we were to take this, that's 1,200. And then if we were to take this, that's 800. And that puts us in a good position. We found the lore fragment. And it does feel like it's going to just take a little bit more each time to get up to certain levels. And level 100 feels like that is the end of the whole level system. Although I imagine if the game wanted to, they could add another 100 levels pretty easily. In particular, depending on whether most of these puzzles can respawn or not. Yeah, I'm not sure there really is an end here. We are an envoy at this point for logic grids, practitioners of several others, enthusiasts. So there's several titles, and then there's still one more kind of puzzle we haven't even seen yet that I imagine will be unlocked in the last area. There's still 5 grid rules we haven't seen. And honestly, I think in this episode we really haven't done much of anything with the lore in itself, recursive proverb and silent wonder, which I don't remember even reading this one. Then Echoes of Time. We now have 2 of those. So I really just don't see a reason why I'd want to read any of that. The mystery hints haven't changed at all. And yeah, as far as our customization goes, I don't think there's anything different. Maybe we do have something a little bit different there. It's unlocked. Maybe a couple more wings have been unlocked. But like no new markings. Nothing like that. Oh, you know what might have been happening? It very possibly is a case that these locked items, as far as decorations, can't be purchased alone. They have to be unlocked and purchased. And so maybe, just maybe, when the mastery level was unlocking a item, maybe I was clicking on it. But that still doesn't make any sense, because why would it let me go into the negative? So yeah, when we like unlock this Wise Wolf's Paw, maybe clicking on that is poorly programmed and can let you go in the negative, but still charges you the amount of sparks. Suppose that's possible. I kind of don't believe it though. And even if it was the case, it's still not really much of an excuse there. So yeah, we have done almost 4/5 of the game. I didn't have any issues. So maybe my computer is back to its normal. Hopefully the audio recorded in this, otherwise this is just going to be a weird silent episode. Anyways, that is the perfect place to end this episode. So as always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and keep on watching. Thanks.